What's up, guys? Brent Sibley, Sibley Dolman Accident Injury Attorneys. Today, I'm going to talk about when you have to give your deposition in a personal injury case. So, this happens all the time. About half of the cases that we handle, maybe a little bit less than half, we have to go into a lawsuit. And then at some point in the lawsuit, if we haven't settled the case yet, they are going to take your deposition, where they're going to sit you down in a court reporter's office or in my office or in the other attorney's office, and they're going to ask you questions for a couple hours. The bigger the case, the more complicated the case, the longer it takes. On most auto crash cases, it's relatively simple. It takes in between 2 to 4 hours, depending on how much medical treatment you have and how much money you're going after. Now, most people get really nervous when they hear about the deposition. And sometimes people get so nervous that they actually tell me, I don't want to do it. I'm so nervous. I just want to settle my case. I just don't want to give a deposition, which I understand. However, I typically am able to explain to them what it is, how it works, educate them on the process, and that makes them calm down enough to the point where they feel comfortable giving their deposition. Now, it's important to know that if you are honest and you speak to your attorney and you have an open and trusting dialogue while your case is going and you talk about everything that's going on in your case, there's nothing to worry about. You will be prepared. Your attorney will work with you. It will take anywhere between 1 hour to 3 hours over the course of a couple phone conferences, reviewing some documents together, talking about it. A good personal injury attorney will speak to the client. I will basically say to you, okay, they're going to ask you this. And then after they ask you this, they're going to ask it like this. And then you got to be prepared for them to ask you that same question like this and like this. And they're going to try and change words, and they're going to ask you in a different order. And they're going to try and basically trick you to get confused, say the same thing. But when you prep and you do the right preparation with your attorney and you go through these things over and over again, it becomes very, very, very easy. And in fact, the right mindset with a deposition is that you should not be nervous at all. You need to think about it as this. It's an opportunity to actually increase the value of your case. So what do I mean by that? Well, in my market here in South Florida, the average person who brings a personal injury case is not the most credible person. A lot of people have already brought a personal injury case before, maybe even more than once, maybe even for the same injury. Someone has a cervical herniated disc in their neck, and they've brought in 3 claims for that same herniated disc once a year for the last 3 years. There's a lot of people that do that down here, and there's a lot of attorneys that are willing to take those cases. Even though they're not the best cases, they are still viable cases. They're just not as strong. But why do I talk about this? Well, it's important because if you have a case in South Florida, the insurance companies don't know who you are. They know the market. They know the types of people that bring claims in South Florida. So you are going to be lumped into the same category as those people, just by definition, because you're a person in South Florida, you're making a claim for injuries after a car accident. So the formula that the insurance companies use in their big softwares that they use in the algorithm is going to put your case at a different, much lower level just because of where you are. It's like real estate in New York. It's a studio apartment, but it's going to be $3 million just because it's in New York. Well, you're a personal injury claimant in South Florida and Miami, so there's a good chance that there's something about your case that might be fraudulent or suspicious, so they're going to put your case at a much lower evaluation. So what can you do? You can do your prep work. You can clean yourself up, wear your Sunday best. I always tell my clients, look really the same way you would look if we had to go to trial. I always tell my clients, if you have a nice suit, wear a nice suit. Now, it doesn't mean wear fancy jewelry, but wear your best clothes, get a haircut, shave, cover up your tattoos if you have a lot of tattoos. Nothing against that, but it's just not going to do you any justice in this situation. So be ready, speak as clean as possible, as clear as possible, look great, look sharp, be very open and honest. Present well, speak clearly, and if you do all of those things, you're going to get a great result, and you're going to give the best possible deposition that you can give. Thanks for watching, guys. Brent Sibley, Sibley Dolman Accident and Injury Attorneys. I'll see you on the next one.